I was saddled on the back of a wild horse when the ground started to shake. The vibration echoed across the desert. The sound of braying cattle, the shouts, growls, hollers, and yelps of cowboys. This was a cattle drive, a wild horse cattle drive. The Osoyoos Indian Reservation is home to around 500 wild horses. These horses have roamed the landscape for hundreds, some say thousands of years. Yet they are a danger to the ecosystem, to manicured lawns, to motorists who frequently collide with them on highways. And some argue that the wild horse is just a horse abandoned by cruel owners who sell them to slaughter every year. At least this is how the story is framed. The wild horse as a pest or as a victim. But there is so much more to this story. With Shirk funding, I went to Osoyoos Indian Reserve and met Aaron Stalkaya, a man who takes care of the wild horses. I spent many weeks in the desert, riding shotgun in Aaron's pickup truck, feeding, watering, and caring for the wild horses. I learned that Aaron does not see them as property. He sees them as wildlife with as much right to roam as any deer, elk, or salmon. And I learned that while Aaron does sell horses for slaughter, he only sells the weak, and only when the population grows out of control, when the land cannot support their numbers, when either some horses are slaughtered or all horses starve. And from his mother and the rest of the Stalkaya family, I learned about the importance of the horse to Seluk's culture. I learned that the horse was a machine of war, a hunting companion, and a source of entertainment. And on the cattle drive, I saw firsthand how the horse is still used today. But I also learned that the horse has been suppressed since settlement, that in the new world, one dominated by cattle ranching, there was no space for a resource drain like the horse. And as a result, it was killed in the tens of thousands, shot, starved, and slaughtered. Ultimately, I learned that how the horse is perceived today as a pest and nuisance with no right to roam the land is a continuation of how it was viewed during colonization. And the media coverage only perpetuates these ideas through failing to include First Nations perspectives, furthering stereotypes of Indigenous people as cruel and savage, and above all, by failing to contextualize this story within a deep and rich history of dispossession. And in doing so, it fails to dig deeper and recognize that this is not just a controversy over horses. It is a conflict over who or what has a right to use the land and for what purpose. Through Shirk funding and through the knowledge entrusted to me by my sources, I hope to transcend this reduced and problematic narrative, publishing a piece of multimedia journalism that tells the whole story.